going to light this morning the first candle in Christianity. Grant me the gift of counsel, so that I may choose what is more conducive to my spiritual advancement. Grant me the gift of understanding, so that I may apprehend the divine mysteries, and by contemplation of heavenly things, detach my thoughts and affections from the things of this world. Grant me the gift of wisdom, so that I may rightly direct all my actions. Let's light the second candle in Hinduism. They live in wisdom who see themselves in all, and all in them, whose love for the Lord of love has consumed every selfish desire and sense craving tormenting the heart. Not agitated by grief, nor hankering after pleasure, they live free from grasping and fear and anger, fettered no more by selfish attachments. They are not elated by good fortune nor depressed by bad. Such are the wise ones. The third candle is lit in the wisdom of Buddhism. Let us be at peace with our bodies and our minds. Let us return to ourselves and become holy ourselves. Let us be aware of the source of being, common to us all and to all living things, with humility, with awareness of the existence of life. Let us practice the establishment of peace in our hearts and on earth. We light the fourth candle in the wisdom of Judaism. The world is a painting and God is the artist. On Shabbat, we are charged with responsibility of steeping ourselves in an atmosphere where we can see the world totally as a reflection of God. The world may be seen as a manifestation of His imaginative thoughts. In this sense, God is the artist, the universe is His gallery, and on Shabbat is open to the public. The fifth candle we light in the wisdom of Islam. I say that if the sea were ink with which to write the words of God, the sea would surely be consumed before His words were complete. Even if there were a second sea, it too would be consumed. The task would still not be finished. The sixth candle in the wisdom of the Native American religions. Everything on earth participates in a constant change that is being directed by an order of laws and principles originated by the Great Spirit. We humans are equipped with natural change abilities. We have the ability to vision. We can use our imagination and imagery. We can change belief, attitudes, habits, and expectations. We need to know ourselves, and we need to know how to work inside to enable us to change naturally. Great Spirit, teach me how to change in harmony. In the seventh canto, we light in the wisdom of Sikhism. O Lord, protect me with your hand, thus my heart's desire be fulfilled. May my mind ever seek the refuge of your feet, and you sustain me as your very own. May this wish be fulfilled, and may I ever yearn to reflect my mind on you.
We should give of ourselves in love and in service to others, in a spirit of generosity and good fellowship. To refuse to give is to refuse to receive, for everything moves in circles. Real giving is the givingness of the self, a kind word, a thoughtful act, perhaps just a smile, can help to lighten the burdens of others. These words are by Ernest Holmes. Let's take them into our minds and hearts and just contemplate them for a few moments. We know that there is a creative spirit that is pouring itself out as its creation eternally. And this givingness of God we see as love that is eternally giving of itself by becoming its creation and at the same time losing not a bit of itself. And we come together this morning called to be that love that we are as we give of ourselves, and in that process we find that we lose nothing, but we gain so much. We gain so much from each other as a community. We gain so much as peace of mind in our own spirit, as we love and serve each other. And we go from that to reaching out to the world in love, willing to give of that which we have, knowing that it goes around and around and comes right back. And we receive so much more than we gave. And that is the consciousness that we commit to this morning. And we are so grateful that we have this marvelous community where we can come together and be together and serve together. And we are ever so grateful. And so it is. I forgot I had other responsibilities. Well, you're fortunate. You're not going to hear me speak. But you're very, very fortunate in that we are welcoming today Mary Dinneen, who is a licensed practitioner from the Columbus Center of Spiritual Living. Mary is also licensed as a practitioner of Oriental medicine in the state of Ohio. She is a massage therapist. And for more than 25 years, she's worked with people to bring them to participation in their own health through her business, which is called Preferred Health Solutions. One of her clients said of Mary that she taught me how to recognize issues and care for my whole self instead of simply focusing on the physical conditions. I learned about balance and how to be calm, centered, and in tune with my mind and body. We're just honored to have Mary here with us today. So would you join me in welcoming Mary? Step right on up.
Thanks. Good morning, Dayton. What a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. There's a couple gentlemen up here that are going to help me out in the beginning of this talk because we're going to play a game. How many of you remember playing Name That Tune? Does anybody remember playing Name That Tune? My dad and I used to play it in those early days when I thought I could be an organist. So anyways, we're going to have them play this tune, and when you recognize the song, I want you to just raise your hand. Okay? Hit it, guys.
We'll play it twice.
We'll play it twice. All right. You know this. Thank you, gentlemen. I know they know it. So,
5 notes.
5 notes.
Name it at 5 notes.
He can name it in 5 notes. So who knew this
I
song?
don't know the name of it.
What is it? Does anybody? What is it? Come Together. Does anybody by any chance remember who it's by? Youngbloods. Yay! Give these people a hand. And as a practitioner with my 1-minute miracles, I can wave my magic wand and poof, your day is perfect. So, why would I want to remember this song? Love one another right now. Love one another right now. It's a great theme, don't you think? We all need to remember to love one another. During the late 60s and 70s, and I'm aging myself, I know, but the revival of the folk songs and Peter, Paul, and Mary, the Mamas and the Papas, you know, I Got a Hammer, and there was the Kumbaya. Anybody hear those songs at church event or a camp out? Yes, I know, I'm dating myself, but those are popular songs, and the reason why we like them is because of the way that they make us feel. You feel good when you hear it. When I was a kid and I would hear those songs and I would think, oh man, I just love the world. The world is such a great place to be. How wonderful is this moment in time? You know, Maya Angelou talked about people oftentimes forget what you said to them. They might even forget what you did for them, but they never forget how you made them feel. And that's what these songs are for me. I've never forgotten how they make me feel. As a matter of fact, when I hear them, do you guys remember this? You want to just grab the hand next to you and start swaying. Swaying. Because it makes you feel so good. And I like these songs. I like the way that they make me feel. Now, why would I be bringing this up? Does anybody know what next Saturday is? September 10th. The Columbus Center for Spiritual Living is now having their 4th annual World Day of Service. September, with this Centers for Spiritual Living, is all about being of service in the world. And we are celebrating our 4th annual World Day of Service. So, love one another right now? Isn't that what service is all about? What does service mean? What does it mean? It means to help, to assist, to care. Our title today, or my talk title, is Being of Service to Others is an Expression of Love. Is service about being loving? I think it is. I love seeing a video clip or something on the internet or on the TV that you see people, or you read about an article, like, you know, we get all these email type things, and you get these notes, and it says what wonderful things that humans are doing for mankind, humankind. And it just makes me feel good. I like the way that it makes me feel. How about you? Do you like the way those articles, those videos make you feel? So are you ready? Are you ready to join in and be of service? Be of service for this World Day of Service? Are you ready? Yeah. Good, because I noticed over there on your board in the welcome section, there was all kinds of opportunities for everyone to be of service. So there's no reason why we can't all participate. Because just maybe we could all get together, we could help each other, we could assist each other, we could care for each other. And back to our song of the day, we could love one another right now. Right now. Maybe that kind word, that thoughtful action, that smile that Ernest Holmes talked about in the reading, maybe that, just starting there, might be the answer, the very answer to lighten the burdens of somebody else's day. It only takes that little bit, that little bit. Are you in?
Sure.
Are you in? All right. Anybody got any apprehensions? Little old me, can I do something to shift the world? Has anybody listened to the news this summer? You know, there's a lot of things going on in our world. A lot of not so nice things going on in the world. And it makes me wonder, could I really change terrorism? Could I really change hate crimes? Could I really do anything about the things that are going on in this world? I have a lot of apprehensions. But the fact is, there's some people that believe that we can. Let me read a quote by Neil Donald Walsh. He's the author of Conversations with God. Anybody know that? He says, drop the thought that you cannot affect the future. Tell yourself that the future is not coming to you. It is coming through you. The change that is coming to you is that change that you place in the future with your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Wow. Change is asking to come through me. That just isn't going to show up because I want the world to change. It's going to come through me. Wow. I guess Spirit is asking me to step in, to be part of this change, to allow Spirit to work through me. It seems a bit like a big, big task. I mean, there was people like Mother Teresa that went and worked in Calcutta, and she saw through the crime and through the pain and through all of what the conditions and stories were. And that's a big shoe to fill. But can I work through? This is Spirit asking me to participate in the law of reciprocity. This is the law of reciprocity, to give and allow it to come back to you. To give, to be of service, to be kind, to do something, open the door for someone. It's that simple. And I know you guys all know these things, right? But it's hard to step into that. When I was young, I had no idea, not a clue, what this whole law thing was. I was raised in traditional religion, and my family of origin and my community taught me to not talk to strangers, keep your head down, leave the neighbors alone, and just stay out of trouble. Anybody else? And these, yeah, me too. These fears, I know, recognize now, these are just fears. That is just fear talking. And I allowed those fears to become my belief system. And that belief got planted and it got rooted in my being. And I didn't feel real connected to people I didn't know. I didn't feel connected to people who were different than me. I didn't know how to be in this world and be okay just the way it is, no matter what. I didn't know how to do that. And like, how can we, I ask now, how can I keep my head down, stay out of trouble, and feel at one with everyone? you know what? You can't do it. You just can't do it. So in my early 20s, I got married for the first time, had a son, and my life was filled with chaos, drama, confusion. I just didn't know how to be okay in this world. Didn't know how to do it. And for some reason, like many people in the mid-80s, I turned to self-help. You know, all the self-help books that started coming out. And I started reading things like A Course in Miracles, which is still around. I started reading books by Louise Hay and Carolyn Mace, and that was just a few of the books that I read because I was a ferocious reader. I needed to figure out why my life was crazy. And so I started to understand that there's a difference between religion and spirituality, that my spirituality is something that I live. And so I started getting all these new thoughts, no pun intended, but it was new thoughts. And what am I going to do with this? And I started to feel good about myself. And you know what happened? My old beliefs made a great big old collision with my new thoughts. I couldn't always still see. I had this concept of oneness. I had this concept of being spiritual. But my fears put everything all up in a knot. So if I looked at my life, my spiritual interior life looked a lot like a teenager's bedroom. Like you couldn't get from the door to the bed without all the clutter. And so my path first with the Spirit was cluttered up. Man, you could not hear a squat in there. I had things thrown all over the place. My belief systems were deeply rooted. It was just everywhere all the time. And so, Spirit, being the beautiful thing that Spirit is, and there's like a ping that Spirit is always talking to us. And Spirit's like, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Remember that commercial? Can you hear me now? I love you. I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't hear squat. Nada, nothing. Nothing was going on in here. I could not hear Spirit trying to talk to me. So Spirit didn't treat me like I treated my children. And so Spirit didn't yell at me when my room, my interior world looks a mess. And Spirit didn't try bargaining with me. If I clean things up, maybe I'll take you to the movies. Didn't do that. And Spirit didn't just shut the door because I was tired of looking at it. Spirit was actually still trying and still continues to do that ping that says, can you hear me now? I love you. I love you. And you know what? There was so much in the way, and the things that got in my way were these unresolved fears, lots of unresolved fears, and guilt, long-standing guilt that got in my way. Obvious control issues, because I'm a human being and I like the world according to Mary. You can ask my husband. There was endless judgments of myself and everybody else in the world. And an unrelenting expectation, again, of how the world should be. And I, of course, was doing what? Shoulding all over the world. It should be this way, it should be that way. No, it shouldn't happen. It's just stuff. It's just stuff. So somehow, some way, that ping, Spirit, talking to me, and I'm finally starting to go, I think I can hear something. What is that? Because I'm starting to embrace my spiritual practices, embracing that way of being so that I can hear Spirit talking to me, because I want my world to be different. And when I'm using those spiritual practices, all that fear It's starting to transform into some faith. That guilt, I'm finally finding some innocence within myself and the innocence within other people. I'm finding my need to control. I'm allowing myself to be me, and I'm allowing myself to be okay with others and who they are. My judgments, yeah, I'm putting them down. I don't need to have the world according to Mary. My expectations, I'm turning that into trust. Yep, great big old trust, because the world is okay no matter what. It really is. Ernest Holmes tells us, no matter what, it's all okay. So, what does the path look like for you in spirit? What's your room look like? What's that interior space about your world? What's that dialogue going on? Are you shoulding all over yourself? I invite you to stop if you are. Because a little bit of faith, a lot of work called spiritual practice, and you too can have that message from Spirit. I can hear you now. And you know what? Not only is it I can hear you almost, but I can hear you loud and clear. Because a lot of times we pray for clarity. And that's that ability to hear Spirit, no matter what is going on in your world. Can I hear you? Penna Chodron, she is a Buddhist monk who's an author. Wonderful, wonderful author. Be kinder to yourself and let that kindness flood the world. Kinder to yourself and let the kindness flood the world. I say, let that kindness be your broom and clean up your room. So give out there. Let that kindness bubble up inside of you so it can clean this path of chaos, drama, confusions, whatever we put out there. Because when our path is clear, when we've cleaned it up, and it is a work in progress, it is a practice. It's the reason why we call it a practice. And as we allow this to come clear, cleaner, then we can see God in all as all, no matter what. God in everything, everyone, no matter what the conditions of our world might be. Can you imagine? To see the light of source in all people that cross your path, in all experiences that you hear about? When we do this, when we really get this practice down, I can know and feel and experience God in me. I can see and experience God in you, in my neighbor, in my family, in the politicians, in our community, in our world. I can see God in all as all because it makes me feel good. And when I feel good, I want to be of help. I want to be of service. I want to be part of this world like I did when I was in 7th and 8th grade in the church camps, listening to Love One Another. You don't want me to sing. Love one another right now. So be the vessel, be the conduit for Spirit to work through you, like Donald Washsall said to us, to let Spirit work through you, as you, in you, because this is the truest nature of who you are. So how do you do that? I've mentioned spiritual practices, and I know that you guys know these things because we kind of repeat this Sunday after Sunday so that maybe, just maybe, we get it anchored into our being so we can walk our talk. So the first thing that I would suggest is be consistent with your spiritual practices. I see that you have classes that are being offered this fall. Get out the books, the new ones, the old ones, there's libraries. Read. Find out what stirs your soul. Listen to some great music. You have wonderful musicians here. Take the classes and, things like meditation. It is so wonderful for you to participate in that. It's good for the soul. No pun intended. My husband and I, we just went to see Joe Dispenza a couple weekends ago and did a weekend meditation retreat. It was fabulous. It really connects you, and then you get that love one another feeling again. And so I encourage you. And of course, prayer. We do affirmative prayer here. You have wonderful practitioners. I've met them at retreats. They're lovely people. I know that if you need anything, whether it's to celebrate or something for clarity, ask one of them. That is part of your spiritual practice, to open your heart and ask for direction. And then find a place to volunteer, to be of service. I see on the board again, there are lots of opportunities, whether right here in this center or out in the world. There are places for you to go. If it's new for you and you're still a little apprehensive, try a little something here. Try opening that door, expressing a smile with somebody that you might not normally do that with. Start somewhere and work out. And once you find that place of service, do it every single day. Remember, be that kindness you want to see in the world. Be that. And here's even a better reason. There was a study done in 2013 at Harvard, and it showed that those over 50, that'd be me, who volunteered on a regular basis were less likely to develop high blood pressure than non-volunteers. So if it's not just for your soul, it's for your body. It'll help you feel good if you take these steps. Step in, step up. Spirit's calling you. Can I work through you? Can I work through you? Can I work through you? I know you guys have this. A great quote from the Gospel of Thomas. If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. That is the law of reciprocity. Thomas is talking about that law, that we have to allow Spirit to work through us. If not, we will fall apart inside, and our lives will have that look of chaos and drama and confusion. Not that we never have it again, but we know better how to work within all of that. Let a practice of being of service save you. Let it enrich your life experience. I was talking earlier how I like how stories like from the internet, you read something, somebody sends you something and just makes you feel good. So I'm going to share a little story with you. It's just a little short one from the internet. Some of you may have heard this before. A woman died and was taken to heaven. The angel wanted her to see hell, so they stopped there first. Hell had a lake of nutritious stew, but the people had only 12-foot spoons. And so, many of them were frustrated when they tried to feed themselves. So the people were miserable and hungry. Then the woman was taken to heaven. Amazingly, heaven was exactly the same, with the same stew and the same 12-foot spoons. But here the people were happy and well fed. The woman asked, "Why are these people so different?" The angel replied, "They feed each other. These people have learned the way of love." What we can do together is much greater than what we could ever do independently. So step in, clean up your path. Allow Spirit to become, or allow yourself to become the vessel for Spirit to work through you. and to love one another right now. If you will, just join me in prayer. Just get quiet in your seat. And if my words can become your words, I take a breath and I welcome this quiet space, this space where I allow Spirit to work through me, in me, and as me, to remember that I am the vehicle for God's love, for God's kindness, for God's goodness. And I say yes, yes to this powerful presence that animates me, that animates you, that animates this world, knowing that this God-centered, Spirit-centered, power-centered lives in each and every one of us without exception. For what is in one of us is in all of us, and what is in all of us is in the one. There is no exception to this powerful presence, and I claim right here, right now, Spirit working through each one of us, being a demonstration in the world for being Spirit working out there through service, through being kindness, through being love, through being one with all that is. So grateful for this opportunity, for these opportunities to be of service to Spirit, to allow Spirit to work through me, to allow Spirit to use me as its vehicle, to use me as its words, to go out into this world and to change it to a place where we love one another right now. It's with a very grateful heart for being right here, right now, with all of you, with the opportunity to pray, for the opportunity to live in this world and make a difference. So I'm going to lovingly bless these words. I'm going to release them into the heart and hands of Spirit, knowing with absolute certainty that in the mind of God, these words, this prayer has already been answered. And join me if you'd like with an enthusiastic, and so it is.
Now take the opportunity to give to our spiritual center. Everything you give makes it possible for us to be here every Sunday, to offer the classes and the workshops, to provide space for meditation and other spiritual practices, to have a place where our kids can learn how magnificent they are. And let's just pause for a moment and take a deep breath and just think about all that's here for each of us. Take a moment of feeling grateful for this. And will you repeat after me? My heart is open.
My heart is open.
I give from my open heart.
I give from my open heart.
I know that as I give, I am given too.
I know that as I give, I am given to you.
And I am grateful.
And I am grateful.
And so it is.
So it is.
Okay, our anniversary celebration is coming up on September the 24th and 25th. And if you've not already made reservations to attend the brunch, you need to do that because we've had 75 people respond, and there's only spaces for 90. So if you haven't signed up and you intend to, you better do it. On the Center of Spiritual Living's World Day of Service on September the 10th that Mary spoke about, we have a project at the VA Center, and Linda Andriaco is going to tell us more about this.
Good morning. We are going to the VA Center on September the 10th. We're going to meet here around 11:30 to fill goodie bags for the veterans and for the people who work there. Going to play bingo with them. That's what they all say that they want to do. So we're going to play bingo at about 2:30. We should be back here between 4 and 4:30. And I think that's about it.
So we meet here at
Meet
11:30.
here at 11:30.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, Linda. If you have a pretty scarf or sheet or something like that, the children are going to be having a project on September the 11th, and they're going to be creating a sacred space. And so if you have something that would add to that, you can bring it to the adult classroom, and they will be happy to have that to use. Speaking of the youth church, there's a pink sign-up sheet at the Welcome Center. And sign up to spend a couple of Sundays with the kids. You'll love it. It's really about creating the future of our world. And if you take a look at the last page of the bulletin, there's an insert, an extra flyer for more information. There's so many things happening around here, and check with that. And also join us today for our birthday cake in the social hall. Happy birthday to Ann Calkins, Bob Cruikshank, Alice Bush, Richard Bailey, Chris Noah Cooper, Linda Bogart, Carolyn Bowman, Teresa Napke, Sarah Brust, Beth Shostrom, Nick Gambino, Lynn Galliato, Ellis, and there are two people that I want to say a special, very special happy birthday to today, and I don't, yes, they're here, at least one of them is here. We have two longtime members, loyal members of this community, who are celebrating very special birthdays. Dwight King is celebrating his 95th birthday. And our beloved Doris is celebrating her 93rd.
Wow.
And I have to tell you that when I came, long ago when I came to this church, Doris and Stan were here. And they were such a lovely, welcoming, warm couple who I just thought so much of from the very beginning. And so it's just a great joy to say happy birthday, Doris.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. If you would like prayer after service, just look for some of us in these shawls, white or teal, and ask us for a moment of prayer. It's our pleasure to give you this gift. You can also put a written prayer request in the basket out on the table by the entry. And it'll be picked up after the service. And thanks to everybody who made this morning service possible. Ushers and the greeters and the practitioners, the welcome team, the Consciousness Cafe team, and the Higher Mind Band, which we always enjoy so much. They've done so much. to you for getting out on Labor Day weekend and being loyal to our service. How wonderful it is to have you here. So if you'll stand now for our closing affirmation.
I have an announcement.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to remind everyone that next Saturday, after the service, and day of service and etc., we're going to be having a fundraiser here, Cool Beans, and we're inviting all human beings to come and participate and do bean art and partake in some wonderful bean delights, including black bean brownies. You won't want to miss out. It's $20, and after a day of service, I'm sure you're going to be hungry, and you can come and enjoy some good peopleship by doing things with beans. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So let's say our affirmation. I will, if you repeat after me, and then we will have our song, I Release. There is one life. And that is God's life. And that is my life now. And so it is. Amen.